So Prince, what is an open mind?
That's the next bit. If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth, by which no one was ever truly harmed. It is the person who continues in his self-deception and ignorance who is harmed. Marcus Aurelius, Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor.
It would be fair to say that everyone is seeking the truth, no matter what walk of life. We all seek the truth. But what is the truth? Can there be more than one truth? In order to find out, we must be open to suggestions and new ideas, open to others and to ourselves. We must adopt an open mind.
So Prince, what is an open mind?
Wikipedia states, an open mind is receptiveness to new ideas. It relates to the ways in which people approach the knowledge and views of others.
Being open-minded has many positives. It helps us develop compassion for others, brings with it a realization that there is always room for growth and learning, and is great for teamwork and developing a mastermind.
It helps us to appreciate that being wrong is an opportunity to learn, rather than an embarrassment to be eradicated. It also helps us to understand that yes, I may be right, but that does not necessarily mean you are wrong. Look at this picture. What do you see?
If you see a young lady, you are correct. If you see an old lady, you are also correct. The point of this is to show that just because you are correct does not mean someone else's view is wrong.
Just like any muscle, practice and consistency is required for an open mind to flourish. Here are 3 tools which have helped me: reading, mindfulness, and exercise.
Reading is a portal to the infinite possibilities of knowledge outside our current sphere of experience. It helps us learn, whilst simultaneously humbling us to the fact that there's so much more we do not know.
As Albert Einstein once said, as our circle of knowledge expands, so does the circumference of darkness that surrounds it.
Through this, we're open to the learning potentialities that present themselves in daily living.
Through reading and the willingness to be open to new ways of living, we can positively change the trajectory of our lives.
I was inspired to start my journey to financial freedom after reading the 4-hour work week.
I was inspired to follow my passion project and to put my intimate work out there after reading Show Your Work.
I was imbued with a want to understand everyone, even those I disagree with, after reading The Laws of Success. Reading is also positive as it improves our empathy for others. We are more able to understand why people behave the way that they do, and through this, we might have a more nuanced response to their actions.
A study at the New School in New York found that reading literary fiction improves theory of mind. Theory of mind is the human capacity to comprehend that other people hold beliefs and desires, and that these may differ from one's own beliefs and desires.
Reading can sometimes seem like a difficult task and a burden. Speaking from experience, it is something that I used to hate, but I've grown to love. Here are 3 tools that help me cultivate this habit, and hopefully can also work for you. Read something you love, set small targets, and don't feel obligated to finish a book. A closed mindset can present itself in a number of ways, and here are 2 examples: confirmation bias and attribution error.
Confirmation bias is the tendency to search for or interpret and recall information that confirms or supports one's prior personal beliefs or values.
Example: if I believe Prince always leaves the lid off the bin, then I'll tend to recall and search for moments which confirm this belief, whilst ignoring moments which contradict this belief. This is confirmation bias.
Attribution error. This is the tendency to emphasize personality explanations for behaviors observed in others, whilst underemphasizing situational explanations. For example, if I'm talking to Theo one day and I realize that he's not listening, and I conclude that Theo is a bad listener, I will be overemphasizing his personality for the reason why he's not listening, whereas there could be other situational reasons. He could be hungry, he could be tired, or he might have a deadline on the horizon which is stressing him out. Confirmation bias and attribution errors are just a few examples of the automatic thought patterns which we can sometimes get caught in.
Through mindfulness, we can better notice when these thought patterns arise, thus increasing self-awareness and rationalizing these thoughts better.
Of course, To notice every single thought pattern we have or bias we hold would be an improbable task to ask ourselves. However, the point here is to increase our awareness of these mental patterns which occur. This allows us to be more curious of the conclusions we arrive at, permitting us to be more considerate of new information when it presents itself.
Mindfulness is all about the process of actively noticing new things about the world around us, and most importantly, new things about ourselves. Meditation can be a hard habit to make stick and something to be consistent with. Here are 3 tools that have helped me personally make it more of a habit. Firstly, set small targets, as small as 3 minutes a day. Secondly, reduce expectations. A major pitfall is to think that it's not working because you still have thoughts. But the goal is not to get rid of thoughts completely, but to be more aware of the thought patterns that arise. And last but not least, pick a time each day. This reduces the friction and the burden of having to decide when to do it. We're going to have a link to Headspace down below, and hopefully this can help you get started if you want to get involved in mindfulness.
In a book called The Power of Full Engagement, exercise is described as having a high link to mental capacity and high performance.
Being open-minded requires concentration and a clarity of mind. When we are stressed, depressed, ill, or in low mood, it can be difficult to have the concentration required to cultivate an open mind. Exercise helps us optimize the conditions within which an open mind can flourish. Exercise is still a daily struggle, but here are 3 tools which have helped me make it more of a habit. Number 1, start small. Go for a 5-minute run. If you can't run, go for a 5-minute walk. Start small and build momentum. This is the recipe for success. Secondly, pick a time each day. Like with mindfulness, having a set time reduces the friction of having to decide when to do this. And number 3, this is a lifestyle change. It is sustainable to think of exercise as a lifestyle change rather than a 5-week plan.
So Prince, in summary, we've talked about reading, exercise, and mindfulness.
Yeah.
And these are things that can help the mind flourish and help you get an open mind. What are your thoughts on the whole thing so far?
The whole thing, yeah, it's really good. I mean, not only the kind of tools we're trying to use here, help you cultivate this open mind that we're talking about, but I guess there's a healthy lifestyle all around, right? Mindfulness, reading, exercise can, really help boost, lifestyle and health. So this is positive all around.
Let's start with exercise.
So with exercise, like we said before, starting, small. So a 5-minute walk. If you can't do a 5-minute run, just start small and build that momentum, because it really does build. And that's how you kind of get to that success. It's no good going for a half an hour 5K run and then you're done out for a week and you can't even do anything. So
if you can do a 5K run from the start, it is hard. Yeah.
Very difficult. So start small, pick a time each day. Again, reduces that friction, and remember, it's a lifestyle change rather than a 5-week kind of exercise plan.
Yeah.
It's a bit more sustainable that way.
Yeah. And that's a good paradigm shift to actually think of it as a long-term thing rather than a short-term thing. So if you keep it, I guess it's more robust if it's a lifestyle, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And we talked about reading as well. Something that I guess you are now a big fan of.
Yes.
So what do you think about the reading? Like, how can they get a foothold on it if they want to start?
First and foremost, I think it's important to read something you actually love, to begin and to develop your love for reading books. And I think it's very important to actually also start small, set yourself small targets. Read at least 5-10 pages a day at least. It's better than nothing, right? And then last but not least, don't feel obligated to actually finish a book. If you're not enjoying the book, just chuck it aside, put it somewhere, get something that you really like. So those are my 3
for you,
key
nice.
points and takeaways. And then the last one was mindfulness, which is something you're really big.
Yes,
really,
big into.
Really big on.
Absolutely. Again, picking a time each day. This kind of reduces that friction. Start small, 3 minutes a day. That's how we started, 3 minutes a day. And that kind of gets that momentum going, like we said with the exercise. And also to reduce expectations, because just because you still have thoughts, even though you meditate, you still have negative thoughts, that doesn't mean that it's not working. It's just about trying to notice when these thought patterns arise and when you get distracted. The more you notice this, the more you build that muscle of awareness, and then the better you are at noticing it in everyday situations.
I guess the key caveat here is self-awareness, right? Which is very important. Not actually fighting those thoughts, but just being aware of those thoughts as and when they come.
Absolutely, yeah. And that's the real paradigm shift.
There's a lot of strength in
that,
self-awareness.
Yeah.
It's great.
the paradigm shift. So thank you for taking your time out to watch this video. I hope it was beneficial to you.
And leave your comments down below, subscribe, like, all of that, and share. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So Prince, what is an open mind? First bit, so leave a comment below. I'm gonna hear from you if you like to
Yeah. So I'll say the first bit, yeah. So thank you for taking your time out to watch this video. I hope to help you. Let me say that again.
And leave your comments and leave your comments and subscribe. And leave comments. You know, why is this a bit so hard?
The last, literally.
2 hours later.
And leave a comment. And leave comments.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a wrap. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a wrap.